In this video, I'm going to be showing you the Voodoo pen trick. Now, the Voodoo pen trick is actually the upgraded version of the incredible pen transformation trick that I showed you a couple of videos earlier. The effects, that is the visual effect for both these tricks, will be the same, but the handling is going to be totally different for both of these tricks. The handling that I showed you earlier in that video is going to be actually a good one for making any kind of short videos like Facebook stories or Instagram stories and stuff like that. But the handling that I'm going to show you in this video, it's going to be completely different, because here we're going to involve audience or just a single spectator. And since there is going to be the involvement of any of these two, there is going to be a storyline which we are going to tell to the audience or the spectator along with while showing the trick. And since we are going to use a storyline, this trick is going to be very long, and that's why I don't have a performance for this trick, because if I add the performance, this video will become very long. And not only that, for the performance I need a real spectator, and as of now I don't have any real spectator, so I cannot show you the performance. But for the visual effect, you can go and watch that video that I made earlier. I'll be linking you to that video in the description, but watch the performance only so that you get the idea what the visual effect will be, because the tutorial that I'm going to give you right now is going to be a totally different one. Now, this trick will be divided into 4 phases, and I'm going to just quickly show you each and every one of these phases, because I've made separate tutorials for each and every one of these phases, because these are some basic moves for these phases. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you the phases, and then at the end of the video I'm going to give you the storyline that I narrate to the spectator while performing each and every phase of this trick. So first of all, before you start with the trick, you're going to have a pen or a marker. I'd prefer using a marker because marker's ink is suitable for actually marking any objects, where a pen's ink is not that suitable. So for that reason, I have a pen, so I won't be marking anything, but you should have a marker when you're actually going to perform this trick in front of any spectator. So you're going to have a marker, and you're going to have a box of playing cards in one of your pockets. And the pocket will be that pocket which you use to ditch objects. For example, this coin, I actually use my right hand to ditch this coin. So the closest pocket will be my right pocket. So if I want to ditch this coin, I'll be ditching it in my right pocket. And that's why I kept the box of cards there, because you'll understand later on in this video. So first of all, let me go through each and every phase of this. I'm just going to show you in short what you're going to do. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the story that I tell to the spectator, just to justify what I'm doing right now. So basically, you're going to start off by asking your spectator to give you a coin, or you can just use your own coin. And then you're going to open the marker and mark the coin. Then give the marker to the spectator, and then what you're going to do is basically you're going to vanish this coin. So first of all, you're going to use a retention technique, okay? The vanishing technique should be a retention technique. For me, I'm going to do the French drop, or I can do the thumb palming technique. Whatever it is, I'm actually retaining the coin in this hand, so the spectators will think that the coin is in this hand. Now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to vanish the coin by rubbing my fingers, and that will be almost the end of phase 1. Now the phase 1 ends when you actually get rid of this coin, and also when you bring back the deck of cards. So here you're going to put this hand in your pocket, and in this pocket where you have the box of playing cards. So right now these spectators might be suspicious, because after you did the coin vanish, you did not show this hand. But it will also be natural to put this hand in your pocket and bring out this deck of cards while you drop the coin at the same time in this pocket. So basically that will be a move of justification why you put your hand in that pocket, and the spectators won't suspect that much. And once you have taken out this deck of cards from your pocket, you have actually moved on to the phase 2. In phase 2, what you're going to do is basically you're going to bring out the deck of cards and then get rid of the box, because you don't really need it. Now at this point, you're going to spread this deck of cards and ask the spectator to select any playing card. And once the spectator does their selection, you're going to turn that card over and ask the spectator to put any kind of mark on this playing card using that marker only. And let's say the spectator signs this card or whatever they does, you're going to turn it over, and then you're going to take a pinky break, because you have to control that card to the top of the deck. And here the control that I would prefer using is the turnover pass, because you have to actually turn the deck over And while you're turning the deck over, you are going to do the turnover pass, because you're going to show the entire deck to the spectator, while you're also going to show that their card has vanished. So for that reason, you have to turn the deck over, and in the action of turning the deck over, if you do the turnover pass, it will be very useful. For example, let's say if the spectator selects this card, the 9 of spades, you're going to control it using the turnover pass. So right now it looked like that I turned the deck over, but no, I actually did the turnover pass and I control that card to the top of the deck. Now at this point, what I'm going to do is basically, when I'm talking to the deck, when I'm actually telling them the story, which I'm going to narrate to you at the end, what I'm going to do is basically, I'm actually going to riffle down 2 cards like that and actually take a pinky break right over here. So when I do that, what happens is these 2 cards will act as one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spread these cards just like that and a little bit quickly, so that I can show the spectators that all the cards are present over here in this entire deck of cards, except for the card that they have selected. And this will be the point when you reach the last card, and you're going to hold these 2 cards together and just transfer it right over here, and they won't really find their card because they have actually marked their card with the marker, and so they will be looking for the marked card even if they forget what card it was. So they won't find it because there are 2 cards over here and the spectator doesn't know. Now after showing all of these cards, the spectators will be convinced that their card has vanished, and then you're going to ask for the marker. So when the spectators are going to give you the marker, you're going to quickly move on to the phase 3. And for moving on to the phase 3, all you have to do is basically use your index finger to pull back the top card, which is right now the bottom card. Since the deck is face up, you're going to pull that card backwards, and as you pull it backwards, all you're going to do is basically you're going to actually cop the card in your hand. So you're going to take this card in this position, in this cocked position. Now once the spectator gives you back the marker, wait a minute, once the spectator gives you back the marker, all you're going to do is you're going to take this marker in this other hand, you're going to have this cocked card in this hand with this deck of cards, you're going to transfer the marker to this hand and then give this deck of cards to the spectator. Now be very careful that you don't flash the presence of this card, so just turn your hand a little bit like this side before you can actually give the cards or the deck of cards to the spectator. Now for this spectator, this will be the entire deck of cards, but for you, you actually have taken their cards secretly in this hand. Now at this point, here is something very interesting that you need to do. So once the spectators are holding onto the deck, the spectators actually need to hold onto this deck face down. That is because you're going to need this deck back in the face down position. So you're going to turn this deck over and give it to the spectator. And once you give it to the spectator, you have already entered phase 3. Now the phase 3 is quite interesting. At this point, you're again going to narrate the story that I'll be telling you in few moments, because we are ending to the last phase. So we're nearing the last phase. So basically over here, what you're going to do is basically you're going to take this pen back in this hand and drop this hand by the side of the body. So none of their focus will be on this hand, because you're going to look at this pen and you're going to narrate the story that I'll tell you at the end of this video. Anyways, if you skip any part of this video, you're going to miss it. So right now you're going to have this pen, you're going to narrate the story, and while you're telling the story, what you're doing is basically from this hand, you're having the side of the body and you're going to take the advantage of the side of the body just to stick the card to the body surface, just like that. So if I bring this card into focus, for example, let's say if I have this card in this position and this is the side of my body, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to stick this card to the side of my body and use my ring finger to press onto it just like that. And then what I'm going to do is use my thumb to pull it onto the ring finger. And the ring finger, as you can see, it's actually curled right like that, right? Now at this point, if I pull it back onto the ring finger, you can see that the ring finger is actually right below the card in the curled position. And at this point, you're going to use your middle finger just to hide this edge of this card. So right now, if you're in this position, you're actually in the position in order to do the pen transformation trick, where the pen will change into a playing card. Now remember, you're going to have this marker in your hand the entire time while you're doing this. So basically, once you have this marker and while you're narrating the story, once you come to the end that you're going to transform this marker into the playing card, what you're going to do is basically do the move of the transformation. Now the transformation move, I've actually made a separate tutorial for it. For each and every one of these moves, I have a separate tutorial for it, and the links will be in the description, so go and check that out, the ones that you need to. So if you go and check, you're going to learn this entire transformation, because there is a very big part playing in this transformation. There's a whole lot of detailed tutorial on this transformation. So once you do this transformation, you're going to be ending up in this position. The pen is going to be in this position and the card is going to be in this position. Your other hand will be empty, and you're going to ask the spectator to give their hand just like that. And once they give their hand like that, you're going to go with the same hand and you're going to place this card right over there. And then you're going to ask them to turn this card slowly. And not only that, you're also going to ask them to concentrate on this card while they turn it. And when they do that, everybody's focus will be on that card. And you already know that this is their card. So basically when they're turning it over, you're actually secretly ditching this pen into this pocket. And you're doing that by dropping this hand by the side of the body and you're ditching it into the right pocket. And at this time, while you're ditching it into the right pocket, you're also going to go inside the pocket. You're reaching inside the pocket and bringing out the coin that you vanished earlier. So that will be the marked coin. And once you bring out the coin back, you have actually moved on to the phase 4. Now in phase 4, after the spectators have turned this playing card face up, they are going to be shocked, obviously. So at phase 4, what you're going to do is basically, you're going to clip this coin between these two fingers, the index finger and the middle finger, and then turn this hand over like that and go and grab the card from the spectator's hand. And when you grab the card from the spectator's hand in this position, the other hand is already empty because you're going to keep your hand like that, as I told you before. And not only that, since you're going to go and grab this card with the same hand where you have actually clipped this coin, your spectators won't suspect you of hiding anything in this hand. So you're going to grab it and then you're going to drop it onto your other hand. And when you drop it onto your other hand, you're going to again release the coin from the clipped position and then drop this card onto this hand. Now this has to be very secret, so you're going to keep your hand at an angle so that the spectators does not see that the coin is present over here. Now once you drop this card onto this coin, just adjust the card's position so that the coin below it comes to the exact position where you need it to be for the transformation, when the card will change into the coin. Now also I have a separate video for that, so I'm not going to go into much details about it. And in that video you will learn which are the positions from where you're going to do the change and the location of the coin exactly behind the card. So basically go and watch the video. The link will be in the description, as I said already. So over here you're going to do the change, and after doing the change, you know one thing, like if you have watched that tutorial, the card to coin change, then you will know one thing, that the card is in right now this position. So at this position, what you're going to do is basically you're going to drop the coin onto this hand, and then you can just move this hand freely like that. Now this is not the correct angle because this is the Tenkai palming, and Tenkai palming does not work from the front, it works from the side. So after you drop the coin in this hand, all you're going to do is ask the spectator to reach out for their hand like that, and then take the coin with this hand and drop it onto the spectator's hand. So you're using this palmed hand, you're using this hand which you're also using to palm the card. You're using this hand to do all of these movements so that the spectator does not suspect that this hand is hiding anything. So this is the very main secret of this trick, that you are actually deceiving your spectator with the same hand you're doing the trick. So once you drop the coin onto the spectator's hand, you're going to ask back for the deck of cards. And as I told you, why you're going to give the deck of cards turned face down to the spectator, you will know here. So let's say your spectators are going to give you the deck of cards. Now after the transformation, after the card transformation, we have already successfully ended the phase 4, but we still need to get rid of these cards. So once your spectator give you back the cards, as you have given them in the face down position, they are going to give you back in the face down position. What you're going to do is you're basically going to turn to the side and you're going to get rid of these cards by placing the card over here and then doing a fan, or maybe from this position you can just come over here, drop the card onto the top and do a riffle just like that. So I'm going to show you one more time. You come over here and do it like that. So that way you get rid of the spectator's card, and right now the spectators are going to hold on to the coin which they have marked. So basically that's how you're going to process with this trick. So these are all the 4 phases and the 4 processes that you need to do. Not 4, actually there are more than 4 processes because there are a lot of ditching and hiding involved. But anyways, these are the 4 phases that you have to go through in order to successfully accomplish this trick. And once you learn all these 4 phases, because the separate tutorials will be in the description, once you learn all these 4 phases, you'll be good to go with this trick. So once you're good to go with the 4 phases, this is what the story you should be telling to your spectator. At first, you're going to just bring out this marker in front of the spectator and just tell him or her that this marker is a voodoo marker, and there are many reasons why I call this voodoo marker. Let me show you one of them. And then you're going to ask for a coin. And once the spectator gives the coin, you're going to do the first phase, that is marking the coin. You can ask the spectator to mark the coin, but with this marker. And once they have marked it, you're going to take this coin and you're going to vanish it by saying that this is what happens to objects which I mark with that same marker. So that is one of those reasons why I call that the voodoo marker. And after you vanish the coin and after you have ended that speech, all you're going to do is basically you're going to the phase 2, but also by saying not only with coins but also with deck of cards. And as you say that, you go in your pocket, go inside your pocket and reach out for the deck of cards, and that's when you do this switch. And once you have brought the deck of cards out, you're going to just open up the box, you're going to spread the cards and just ask the spectator to select one and sign one, or maybe mark one with any kind of markers or anything that they want. And once they have done that, once they have successfully done that, you're again going to tell, like, since you know that you have marked the coin and it has vanished, right now let me just show you each and every card. You have actually marked your card, so you should be able to see that card. And that's when you start spreading the deck of cards and you actually show that the card has vanished by doing that secret move of that double card holding. And then what you're going to do is basically you're going to move on to the phase 3. And for that, you're going to ask the marker at first. And of course, you're going to be copying the card while they're giving you the markers. So you're going to just take the marker and transfer it to the copped hand and give the deck of cards to the spectator. And then what you're going to do is bring the marker in front of your eyes and concentrate on it. And then you're going to tell, like, there is another unique property of this marker, that if I put any mark on any object with this marker actually changes into the object. So the last object that I put a mark on with this marker was a playing card. And while you're saying all of this, you're actually getting ready with the card to get into the pen to card transformation position. So at this point, you're going to just do the pen transformation immediately after telling that. And immediately after that, you're going to just ask them to put their hand forward. And you're going to drop the card onto their hand with the same hand as I told you. And you're going to ask them to turn it over slowly. And while they're turning the card over slowly, you're actually going to dish this pen in your pocket and bring out the coin. And then after that, once you move on to the phase 4, which is the final transformation where the card changes into the coin, you're going to say, like, so you can see this card right now. It is actually the marker that has changed into this card. So since it is not actually the real card, it still is a marker, it can change itself again. Then immediately after saying that, you're going to do the card to coin transformation. And then basically you're going to drop the coin onto the spectator's hand and then tell them, so that is the coin that you have actually marked at the beginning. And once they see that, they will be shocked, and you can get rid of the card by taking back the deck of cards as I told you. And you're going to put the deck of cards in the box, and that is where the story ends, and that is how you're actually going to do this entire trick. So that is the entire storyline that I use for this trick. I'm very sorry because I don't have a spectator, so I could not show you the actual performance of it. But the way I taught you, you should be able to visualize every single step inside your head, whatever is going to happen when you're going to perform. So that is how you're going to do this trick, and that was the voodoo pen trick. I know this video is very long, and that is also one of these reasons why I did not put the performance in this video, because as you can see, like, this entire storytelling part was also very long. So that's how you're going to do this trick, and that's the process of this entire trick, and that's the entire story. And as you can see, like, this video is very long, so I won't be wasting much time of yours, but I hope you gained something really amazing and really a good knowledge about this trick, so that you can actually utilize this knowledge and come up with many other tricks like this one. And anyways guys, thanks for watching. If you're new here, then make sure you subscribe, because that's what helps me to keep going like this one. And once again, thanks for watching. Peace.